All right, let's just get right down to it. Eagles and Saints. It's the hottest team in the league right now. In my opinion, the best team in the league. People talk about Rams. Still think they're a young core, young group. Still a hot team. Chiefs, still a good team. I still think the Chargers might put up a solid fight with them in the AFC. That's a different story. Patriots still, because you've seen what happened before. But this is the best team in the NFL overall. 8-1. They started out, 0-1 was it? And ripped off eight straight wins or whatever, how many wins they have. Ripped off. Drew Brees, Hall of Fame quarterback, of course, breaking every record this year. And I think it's set up for them to win the Super Bowl this year. It's completely set up for them to win it. The guy who has been underlooked basically his whole career, even though he has all the records, has a Super Bowl, hasn't won an MVP, but he has a Super Bowl, has all the records. This year breaks the touchdown, or ties Favre, or breaks Favre's touchdown record. Now he's second behind Peyton with the most touchdowns. Breaks the completion percentage record, which was held by Brett Favre, then Peyton. Now it's him. And he broke most yardage. Did he break the most yardage? Whatever. He broke a whole bunch of records this past season. He's got a great running back, two great running backs, great run game to support him. And then when he wants to throw it, he's deadly accurate. Always been, always has been. Great at home, of course. And it's like it almost sets up perfectly for this guy who's, is he 40 yet? 39, 40, whatever. To win the Super Bowl this year. And if I'm him, I win it, and I say I'm done. Because he won the Super Bowl in 2009 was it? Then he had a couple really. I mean, he's always been good every year, but his team's been lousy. Defense is terrible, or the weapons ain't too good around him. But he always put up numbers. Always, he was always a fantasy monster. He's always a guy that you can rely on. But if I was him, I would honestly say, hey, this is the best team we had. Last year we could have done it, but hey, we blew that thing with the Saints. This is the best thing right here that we got since my last time in New Orleans. If I was him, I would win this Super Bowl. If they get there and win it, we'll see what happens with all that. And if we're talking about Super Bowl now, because before we get into the Eagles, my not dream Super Bowl, of course I want the Eagles in it, but if I couldn't have the Eagles in it, I would love to see Chargers versus Saints. Do you guys know the whole concept between those two guys, Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers? Drew Brees used to play for the Chargers. Rivers was his backup. Once Brees was whatever, this and that, they drafted Rivers in the first round to sit behind him. Then Brees goes to New Orleans. Rivers takes over, goes to an AFC title game, goes to a couple playoff games. Guy's been elite, but hasn't won the big one. You put them two together in a Super Bowl, and you go, yo, these guys have history together. They were teammates, and then now they split. Now he does this. It would be pretty awesome. And I would like to see Rivers actually get a Super Bowl. He deserves it. But let's get to the Eagles and this and that. The only way Eagles can win this game, they have to play perfect. And I looked up a stat today. It said Carson Wentz, the third best quarterback off the play action, or has the most yardage off play action, or something like that. Where the Saints are third. Their defense, the Saints defense, is third in the league at giving up the most yards on play action. So it was like, wow, okay. That's something right there. But, they have to play great in all three phases of the game. They have to keep the ball out of the Brees and Alvin Kamara's hands. Yes, Mark Ingram, of course, is still a stud. But Alvin Kamara is still a stud, too. So everyone worries about Brees, making him pass. But you can hand it to Alvin Kamara. This guy could bust a 15-yarder like that. I told people going into the draft he's going to be phenomenal. I remember a couple people, I ain't going to name you guys. Oh, he's terrible. I said, you should get him in the second round. As soon as the ball's in his hands, he could score as soon as it's in his hands. The guy's phenomenal. They have to play just sound. And I see people online saying, the only win is if Wentz throws 4 or 5 touchdowns. He doesn't have to throw 4 or 5 for us to win, if you guys actually thought about it. He could throw 3, but get us to the end zone on the extra 2 and punching in with the freaking running back or QB sneak it. He doesn't have to actually physically score a pass for 5 or 4 or 5 touchdowns to win the game. He doesn't have to do that. Okay? Prime example. Who the hell did they play earlier this year? It was a close game. They won by like 4 points. Was it Browns? Whatever. The Browns, I think it was. Tyrod Taylor wasn't throwing no 5 touchdowns or 3, whatever the hell it was. But they said he didn't use 4 or 5. No, he could throw 3, or he can even throw 2. But if Elites gets us in the red zone, a little bit of goal line, he can QB sneak it, or they could do hand it off to the running back or do a pitch option to Golden Tate, pitch option to Nelson. He doesn't have to actually physically throw 5 touchdowns to win the game. That's ludicrous. That's crazy. I mean, if he throws 5, that's awesome. We will win. But he doesn't have to throw 5. He can get in there, get close, and once we're there at the goal, pound it in with the running back or QB sneak it or do a trick gadget play. And I think this game is going to be a type of game where you're going to have to pull out a lot of gadget plays. I think on special teams, we're going to have to do fake punts maybe a fake field goal. I don't know. Something. Because these guys are no joke. And, a lot of people are saying, well, this is the first game the Eagles are underdogs in. They're going to do great. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. But you know what's funny? As I look at it, with the whole underdog thing and all this and that, I read that Sean Payton, this was earlier this week, Sean Payton and the Saints are not looking at the Eagles of this year, the 4-5 Eagles. They said they are looking at the Eagles as the Eagles that are the Super Bowl champions from last season. They're looking at them like that. Like, that's how good we are. And that's what scares me. I'm like, wow, this team's already deadly. The Saints team, they're putting 50 points on people's heads like at will. And you got no Darby, no Jalen Mills. Sidney Jones is coming back, yes, but then you got Sidney Jones, whoever these other guys are. You know what I'm saying? Trey Sullivan, this guy, that guy. You're putting Maddox down now, back to the corner probably. It's all over the place. Roswell Douglas. Throwing balls at will. And now they're saying they're not looking at it as the 4-5 Eagles. They're looking at it as the Super Bowl team. That scares the living hell out of me. But you know what? This could be an upset game. And that's what hurts me the most. That I already made up my mind last week. Once we lost to Dallas, I said, we're getting our asses whooped. Game and lose. Lose by 10 points. If we lose by 10 points, I'll be, hey, 10 points. I thought we were going to lose by a lot more. But the more I read into this game, look into this game, read about what people are saying, what analysts are saying, what people on Twitter are saying, what just everything. It's giving me just a glimpse of hope. Like, oh, maybe we could pull the upset. Maybe we could do what we did in 2015 when against the Patriots, when the Foxborough, no one had to give us a shot, and bam, won the game. But that's what hurts me the most. You know why? Because it gave me a glimpse of hope. And that glimpse of hope is going to get crushed if this don't go right. Because I can already see it now, that glimpse of hope. I'm like, you know what? Let's just ride out. Let's see what we got. I know we got dogs in this team. They've done it before. They can do it again. They've been underdogs in the Super Bowl. Beat the greatest quarterback that ever played a game with a backup quarterback. They've done this. They've done that. But it's not the same team as other teams. Not mentally, not physically, not the same players on the field either. A lot of them are hurt. But that little glimpse of hope is what's hurting me because I know I'm looking at it and going, maybe we could do this, maybe we do that. And then I'm going, nah, I shouldn't give myself hope because I know what's going to happen. I give myself hope. First time on the field, we get on the field, and bam, Breeze throws a 50-yard bomb. Or they start marching, give it to Alvin Kamara, 23-yard rushing touchdown, and like that, they're up 7. And then it's like, okay, the glimpse of hope is gone. Why did I even have hopes to win this game? And then it keeps going and going and rolling. More points are coming up on the board and on us. They do have their defensive end who's out. Oh, what's his name? Is it Devonta Port? I can't remember now. Dave Port, whatever the hell. Drafted him in the first round. He's out. And their Armstead, whatever the hell, their tackle's out. So that has a little plus for our defensive line and for our offensive line, which I don't know what's up with Lane Johnson, if he is day-to-day, what's going on with that. I'm just so whatever right now. But if we can somehow get the Breeze, just get them down a couple times. Defense plays pretty solid on the line. It's going to be all about the line and the linebackers. That's it. The secondary can't do too much besides Malcolm Jenkins. If we get the ball, and we need to do what we need to do, which is score at will, but if we can't score at will, drain the clock out, keep Breeze and that offense without possessions. Run the ball a lot. Run it with Josh Adams, like I said last week. Run the hell out of the ball with him. And you could sneak out a W. Now, that's what worries me. We versed all these other teams that we haven't run the ball much. We threw the ball 40-plus times a game, even though we were up by 17, even though we're up by 20-something. So what makes me think it's going to be different this week? You're going against the Saints, which you know you have to do those things, but even in those games that you should have done them, like against Dallas, no one's scared of that Dallas offense with freaking Dak Prescott. But you still pound the ball because, F it, we'll keep time possession, we'll score the freaking boards up, and win the game. So this week it's needed. Let's see if they actually utilize it. But it could happen. I'm just trying to be optimistic as I can. Go Birds. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Who you think's going to win. And If we pull it off, what do you think? I think we pull this off, the season turns around. I don't know if they're going to do it, but I still think they win this freaking game. They pull this as a big one, and they're the underdogs now. They're 8-point, 9-point underdogs at home. They pull this off, they're going to be feeling some type of way. And they could do a little run on the table. Maybe we'll see what happens, but I'm not getting too far ahead. I'm just saying at this game right now, we'll see.